big development. It's a counter-strike by Eknath Shinde after facing a demand for the disqualification of the MLAs under the Shinde Sena. Shinde has now hit back and filed an official procedure seeking the disqualification of the MLAs who are still loyal to Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. It's a strike versus counter-strike strategy that is taking place, and we've got the inside track on the legal strategy that appears to be at play. I'm not going to sit here and say we know exactly what everyone is doing, but I can tell you that we've got the best sense. With India today, India's #1 political team has the best sense of what this cloak and dagger is really looking like. Things are changing by the minute. Strategies are changing by the minute because each side is hugely in the dark about what the other side really plans to do. And that's the reason why there's a great deal of stealth, a great deal of cloak and dagger, and now this big counter-strike by Eknath Shinde. His chief legal strategy thrust is going to be seeking the disqualification of the Uddhav Sena MLAs. This is big. A disqualification versus disqualification bid that is on the cards as far as MLAs are concerned. As far as numbers, let's remind all of our viewers that as far as numbers are concerned, the Shinde Sena still holds all the cards. It's still in a position of advantage. If it comes down to numbers today itself, the Shinde Sena would still emerge victorious. But as far as our democracy is concerned, there are various procedures that need to be gone through. It's not as simple as one set of numbers replacing the others. A floor test is possible. The courts could step in. There are very many constitutional procedures that protect a sitting chief minister, and therefore the legal route is being considered very strongly by Eknath Shinde, and he, on the very same ground, may demand the disqualification of MLAs who are with Uddhav Thackeray. We've got the inside track. In just a moment from now, I'm going to get you more on that legal strategy. India Today's Munish Pandey is about to break a big story as part of that legal angle. But let me bring Polomi back in. Polomi, apologies for interrupting you there. We just had to update our viewers on that breaking. But, this sort of makes things even more aggressive. It makes it a tucker of sort of nuclear proportions. Eknath Shinde, who until 6 days ago was part of this very Shiv Sena, sitting in Guwahati 5 days now and counting, has now decided to return fire at the Uddhav Sena and saying, I'm going to demand the disqualification of your MLAs. This has escalated big time. Follow me.
Absolutely, because now, they're, like I said, they're fighting the battle both sides on different fronts, and now it's very clear that the fact that, Eknath Shinde has been constantly, in fact, seeking legal advice, speaking to lawyers. He spent literally the bulk of the last 2 days, Shiv, here in Guwahati, seeking legal advice, especially after the attack mounted on the Eknath Shinde faction by the Uddhav Thackeray faction. So now he has to plan his counter strategy. So what he is planning, as Manish is reporting right now, is that he is going to seek the disqualification of the members of the legislative party who are currently with the Uddhav Thackeray-led faction. It remains to be seen how many of those members are named and who these members are, because we do know that as far as these camps are concerned, there are a couple of fence-sitters and well, and as you would have noticed, while there are 38 MLAs of the Shiv Sena inside Hotel Radisson Blu Shiv, a disqualification notice has been moved against 16 of them only. So there is a lot of calculated planning, a lot of strategizing that is happening. The 16 that we're talking about is core Shinde group. That is what the Uddhav Thackeray faction has moved against right now, including Eknath Shinde himself. So we have to see which grouping it is of the Uddhav Thackeray faction that this faction behind me in Guwahati moves against. So that is happening on the streets, Shiv. What we're learning is the Eknath Shinde camp and his supporters are going to up the ante over the next week. Starting Monday, they're going to hit the ground running. So while, of course, you can expect that these two sides are going to come face to face on the roads literally now, Shiv. That is going to happen. They're going to up the ante on the streets of Maharashtra as we speak. And very interestingly, Shiv, what has also happened today, something that we shouldn't miss, is that Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari is back in the Raj Bhavan. that was a move which was awaited. That was something which was awaited. This was why this group behind me was biding its time, and it's possible that they could, in fact, while they've got it all sorted and ready with the legal advice, fighting it in the courts, they proceed to Governor House in Mumbai. Shiv.
Very, very interesting. You know, Polami, the numbers have held so far. You know, there have been no dramatic changes in numbers. There appears to be only a one-way flow of numbers, you know, from Mumbai to Guwahati, and not the other way around as the Uddhav Sena, you know, would have wanted at this point of time. And that's one of the reasons why each new day has a different theme. On the first day, there were threats. On the second day and third day, there was a lot of emotional play. On the fourth day, threats once again. And on the fifth day, now you're seeing all these protests playing out. So very interesting evolution of how the Uddhav Sena is tackling all of this. But a question that I want to ask you, Polami, because, you know, you're there and no one can be closer to what's happening in the Eknath Shinde camp than India Today's Polami Saha. So I'm going to ask her, Polami, any signs of things faltering? Because there has been a sense that one of Uddhav Sena's strategies would be to protect this in such a way that you know, a sense of despondence sets in, and maybe they can break the Shinde Sena. Any signs of the Shinde Sena splintering at all?
Absolutely not. At the moment, no. Yes, everyone anticipates that if this stretches on for longer, then there could be a possibility that, you know, some of the MLAs over there could be frustrated, because the Uddhav camp is in touch with them. Uddhav Thackeray's office, Sanjay Raut and others are in touch with them and are trying to break the ranks. But what we believe is that many of them came here anticipating that this is going to have its many layers in terms of the battle that they're fighting, and it could take a while. But expect, Shiv, that in the coming week, this will play out to the maximum as we see it in the state of Maharashtra, and you'll know exactly by the end of the week, next week, that is, who exactly comes out trumps as far as this battle is concerned. It's going to play out in a courtroom, it's going to play out in the Deputy Speaker's office, and it's definitely going to reach Raj Bhavan as well, is what I estimate, Shiv.